so we're down in Kerrisdale right now. We're just gonna go get some dinner at where we had our anniversary. Gonna find a good spot to have a chat with you guys about credit card scammers and all that stuff going on right now that's in the news. But what restaurant are we going to, love?
It's called Minerva's.
It's called the Minerva's?
Yep.
Okay.
A few moments later.
So, Lauren, what are we here to talk about?
Credit card skimmers.
Credit card scam. What else? Just fraud, I guess, in general.
Particularly like ATM type fraud, right?
Yeah. So today I want to talk a story time. This one's a warning for you guys. Story time. I want to talk about the time I caught 3 guys stealing credit cards. But there's some. It's not the first time I've caught people. We actually caught some credit card skimmers in Calgary. I gave them a credit card skimmer that was on their machine at the bank, at the TD Bank. Scary stuff. I've been seeing a lot of it recently here in Vancouver, and seeing a lot of the fraud and the scamming coming up again. So I thought I'd make this video to kind of tell you guys about it, tell you guys how these guys got arrested, how they got caught, and how these criminals do this stuff to you. So if you're not as familiar with this, you should be able to protect yourself a lot better after.
And if you're like me and you don't know a whole lot about this, what you should get from it is it's a lot easier than you are probably thinking for people to do this and to steal your credit card information, so be a lot more careful than you realize.
Scary easy. So being that I work in some security penetration stuff, I have a familiar background with it. Credit cards have what's called a track 1 and a track 2. Track 1 holds your personal information. It holds your address, your phone number, your contact info. Track 2 is the important one. Track 2 is what holds the bank transit numbers, the transition number, the routing number. These things are how the money's sent and received. So, with credit cards, the reason you have to use credit cards to check into places like hotels, for example, is because they actually copy track 1.
Oh.
When they swipe your credit card through the machine, your information pops up on the screen, your track 1. And they actually encode your track 1 from your credit card onto your room card.
So when somebody gets those new debit cards that are like a debit Visa, but they're not actually a Visa card, but you can use them to pay for things that you normally could only use a credit card for, is that because they also have a track 1 now?
Track 1 was always there. Track 1 is always just your name. Track 1 is like less secure track. Track 2 is the secure information. Track 1 is free. Like when you put your credit card into a machine at the bus station, it reads track 1 and it saves that information. Track 2, it doesn't save.
Okay.
That's the transition numbers. So I was downtown Vancouver and I was walking by the SkyTrain and I saw these 3 guys in, I guess they were masquerade costumes.
Where was this?
This was downtown. So I saw these 3 guys and they had knee-low tights. So they had tights on that stopped at their knees, just below their knees, white tights, and then they had these really tight black shirts on, and they were wearing half masks. And it looked like they were...
Classic Vancouver fashion.
Right, it looked like they were going to a masquerade party is what it looked like. And at first I was just like, oh, look at those 3 goofballs. Nice balls, buddy. But nice spandex. But then I saw the other guy, the 2 of them were working on the machines, and the other guy was pushing something against the bank machine. And I knew right away something was wrong, so I watched them. And they had taken 3 skimmers, and then they had made metal copies of the bank machines. So for a credit card skimmer to work, you need 2 things. You need a camera, and you need a credit card skimmer. Normally the credit card skimmers, they've put them on top of the machines. The little part where you put your card in, if you can wobble it or if you can pull that off, then that is a skimmer.
And you found that once at the Calgary TD, right?
I found that dozens of times in many places, but the Calgary TD, we found them here. Right, I actually pulled them off the machine and took them inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they did a police investigation, and they actually got the video of the guys. They were from Montreal, and they had a car with Montreal plates, and they were driving across Canada putting skimmers on machines. Yeah. So the thing is, if you cover your PIN, they can't actually get because what it is they had a camera. Normally they take a cell phone camera apart. They take an old cell phone from the 90s or the 2000s, and they take the camera and the battery off. All they need is that camera component and that battery, and they record that all day with a timestamp. So then your credit card goes through the skimmer. When it goes through the machine, it records the time as well.
So they know which pin was yours.
Right, so they match the time on the camera to the time on the credit card skimmer, and they've got your pin because they watch you type it in. Now, a lot of times, there has to be a camera. So if you are in a variety store or a restaurant or anything sketchy, and there's a camera pointing directly above, not from behind, because from behind is fine because they can't see the pad. But if it's ever above you looking down, that is shady. You gotta be really careful about that place.
What about any grocery store or Walmart that has those big round cameras and they're always on the ceiling by the cash?
Yeah, you cover it.
Yeah.
So anytime, it's especially like at a gas pump as well. But normally what people do is they make fake facades. So they'll take the warning label or like the plastic advertisement piece off and glue another section on top of that. So a lot of times if you look, if you do find a credit card scammer, if you look, you will find a camera as well. The guys in Vancouver, what they had done is they had taken metal grates that match those privacy panels that are on the sides of the ATMs that hang out, that usually are like talking about RSPs and all this stuff. They have all the TD advertisements on it. There's a metal mesh, a grate. And I'll try to find a picture of one right now on Google for you and pop it up. But what they had done is they had created, that's right, they had created that metal mesh, spray painted it the same color as the ATM, and had a camera inside of it. And so they had actually pushed, they were about this large, these metal sections, against the side panels, and in this metal grate, one of the holes had a camera sticking through. And there was 3 of those on all 3 of the sides. And I tell you, the cops didn't give a shit. I ran right to the train station because I figured I could find a cop there. And it was a guy and a girl, and I said, a man and a woman, and I said, hey man, there's people, I need you to come with me right now. I didn't say why. And he was really like not interested. The woman was really into it, but the guy was just like, what's going on, buddy, right? And so like I wanted to grab him and drag him. And I said, man, there's a crime going on right now, come with me. And he really wasn't interested at all, but she came with me, and so he came with me as well. And I walked them the half block back to the TD Bank there, and sure enough, these guys are there fucking setting up their skimmers still. They're setting up the metal on the 3rd machine now. And the cops sat there and watched them for a second. I said, what they're doing is they're putting credit card scanners on that. And he went over, and they arrested all 3 of them. I showed them right away. I popped the metal grate off, and I took it apart, and there was like a half of a cell phone still together in there with the camera and the cell phone battery. I said, see, that's how they're recording it, da-da-da-da-da. I walked away, but I imagined that they got charged, but it was just, I was on my way back from work, so I didn't have any time to hang out. And I hung out enough that I could see exactly what they were doing. I took the skimmer apart, I took the metal grate apart. It was interesting.
Shut up and sit down.
Hey guys, still in Kerrisdale. We're just about to go get some dinner. But I ran into another one of the sister clocks. This is made by the same guys that made the steam clock down in Granville, or sorry, down in Gastown. This is the Kerrisdale clock, so everyone in Kerrisdale can enjoy it as well. I think it's pretty nice. What do you guys think? Nice clock? I think it's a nice clock. We got some delicious steak here. I got the lasagna. What else we got going on over here, Lauren? What you get?
I got a chicken souvlaki with the roast potato, the rice pilaf, and the bread.
Everything is delicious. Another successful day down in, are we in Kensington right now? Kerrisdale. Dinner was delicious, taking some extra lasagna home. And I guess that's all to be said for this afternoon's vlog, guys. So I'll catch you on the next one.
Yeah, wham, bam, super tramp. And I tipping up my hat while I boost the fans. And I hover up top, can you feel the noise? All the girls scream out cause they want the boys.